We are standing here in the spectacular galleries of the Louvre Abu Dhabi, facing an overwhelming monumental threshold in human history, where the scattered tribes of humanity coalesced into absolute titans. We are looking at the sweeping narrative of Wing 1, Gallery 3, Civilisations and Empires, capturing a blistering period of innovation beginning around 3,000 years ago. This is not merely a collection of isolated antiquities. It is the physical, visceral evidence of how human conflict, conquest, and cross-pollination forged the vast cultural continents we recognize today. To truly comprehend the artifacts surrounding us, we must look at how, almost simultaneously across the globe, humanity began to codify the visual rules of power, beauty, and philosophy, what art historians call canons of representation. In the Mediterranean, the Greeks were obsessing over mathematical perfection, birthing the classical ideal of the human body. Meanwhile, an ocean away in Mesoamerica, the formative Olmec culture was carving colossal, awe-inspiring basalt heads. These monumental portraits of rulers materialized divine, centralized authority in pure volcanic stone, establishing a visual canon that would influence the mighty metropolis of Teotihuacan centuries later. But this gallery reveals that art does not evolve in a vacuum. It is driven by the explosive, often violent chemistry of empire. By the 5th century BCE, massive imperial machines began to collide. When Alexander the Great marched his Macedonian armies to the edges of the Indus Valley, he catalyzed a staggering artistic collision. This Hellenization of the East met the Indianization of the subcontinent under the Mauryan Empire around 321 BCE. The breathtaking visual result? The Gandhara style, where the profound spiritual essence of the newly formulated Buddha was suddenly carved wearing the heavy, rhythmic drapery of a classical Greek Apollo. Simultaneously, in 221 BCE, the first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, ruthlessly unified China, concluding the chaotic warring states period. That intense, bloody rivalry had forged an era of unprecedented intellectual and artistic development, culminating in the staggering realism of the Terracotta Army. Thousands of clay soldiers, each with a unique face, stood as the ultimate testament to Sinicization and absolute imperial control. Yet, the most profound art historical pivot happens at the very end of this era, as these titans inevitably collapse. Whether it was the Arsacid Parthians in the east, Rome dominating the Mediterranean, or the Han dynasty in China, the fracturing of these colossal empires left a massive psychological void. It is exactly here that the great universal religions stepped in to fill the silence. Crucially, these new faiths did not invent new artistic vocabularies from scratch. Instead, they brilliantly adapted the surviving aesthetic machinery of the fallen empires to broadcast their new spiritual messages. The Roman Basilica, once a secular imperial hall of law, was seamlessly transformed into the soaring nave of the Christian cathedral. As you walk through this space, look closely at these sculptures and vessels. You are witnessing the ultimate crucible of civilization. They remind us that the borders of empires may rise and fall, but the artistic synthesis they leave behind weaves the grand, interconnected visual heritage of humanity.